Hi, this is Jesse Linares, Skills Up Ambassador and Sanvia ArTeam member. The video you're about to see is a pre-recorded live stream that we did for our Sanvia partner schools. Now, if you have a school and you'd love for your students to use Sanvia tools and gain access to exclusive education opportunities just like this one, then click the link in the description below. Oh man, like I said, we've got something really exciting for you today. Our man Adrian Sandoval is joining us. He's a member of the Sanvia ArTeam. He's 20 years behind the chair doing hair, 10 years as a cosmetology instructor. He currently works full-time as a cosmetology instructor and in the salon. So he has a lot to offer you today. And without further ado, let's just bring him up here and let him do some talking for a minute. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, dude. Thanks for being here. I said this was a first for many reasons. Our first, I think our very first clipper cutting program and our very first live model presentation. So if you're out there in the audience and right now you're saying, I'm one of the ones that asked for that, then just pound yourself on the back and congratulations, because we heard you. And thanks to Adrian, we're able to make it happen for you today. So I'm going to jump off this screen here, bro. And it's all you. Have a great program.
All right. Thanks for having me. This is my Skills Up debut, and my segment is called Fades Without Fear. So I understand with the cosmetology students, when you first pick up a clipper, maybe you have all the confidence with the shears, cutting the solid form and layers, but once you pick up the clipper, it's completely different. It's a completely different tool, and I like to call it an emotional tool. Sam likes to call it a razor emotional tool, but so is a clipper, because you really want a light touch, you want to use your wrist, and not go in too aggressively. Otherwise, that's when mistakes happen. So with my segment, we're going to be learning just simple steps with predictable results. I am going to be using guards. So when it comes to the guards and my school, we teach the clipper over comb, the shear over comb, finger and shears. Now those are traditional techniques, but using the guards are getting a little more and more popular with the barbers. So I am going to use that as an option. But let's be honest, let's be clear though, it is really important that we use the clipper over comb and shear over comb techniques and really master those. So what I'm going to be doing is bringing my client in. This is my family member, Ben, right here. Ben has not had a haircut in a long time. How many months has it been now, Ben?
About 2 months.
All right. And as you can see, he has a nice full hair. He's got that silver fox thing going on. So we're going to be doing a fade for him. So what I like to do is start talking about prepping the hair. So when the hair is dry, I like to have the hair nice and natural fall. So I did ask Ben before he came to make sure that the hair was completely washed and laying down flat. So if you have your client coming in with any like hat head, any bed head where the hair is not pressed in natural fall, it's going to be hard to do a really efficient fade. So making sure that their hair is in natural fall and that is not going to have the hat head. So we are from Wisconsin. We are in the Wisconsin area. It's about to get cold. So a lot of my clients do have the hat head when they come in. So I like to wash their hair first, and then I'm going to take my blow dryer and my comb and lay down everything flat just to make sure that it is a natural fall. Let me cape up, Ben. So I like to have the hair natural fall, nice and prepped, laying down how it should be. And with my clients, when it comes to short hair, when it comes to pixies, fades, men's, women's, it doesn't matter. It is really important to part off the natural parting of the round of the head. I did bring my chart right here, so you can see I have my head sheets already all lined up. So that parting at the round of the head is going to be right where that head starts becoming that vertical transition. So this is vertical, and this is when the lines start becoming more horizontal. So I'm going to follow the round of the head, and I'm going to part that off, and I'm going to show you how to find that on each client. When it comes to long hair, of course, head shape matters, but when it comes to short hair, it really does matter. You want to know where to build that weight up, following the round of the head. And making sure that everything is just a little more personalized to the client. So I'm going to be taking my comb. I'm going to be using a fine teeth. So how I like to find the round of the head is that I'm going to have my comb nice and vertical, and then I'm going to do a little rocky motion. Does everyone see right where that comb stays on? That's right where Ben's round of the head is, right where that recession area is. So I'm going to take my comb this up. I am using our Sanvia Velcro grips. These are great for short hair. Sometimes clips are not going to hold in short hair, and guys do not want to see all those clips in there. I see my students working with their clients, and their male haircut all have like 6-7 different clips in there. So using these Velcro grips, if you have not got them yet, I would suggest getting those. So following bends around to the head, everything above that, I'm going to take this Velcro grip and then push up, and that's going to hold. So with everyone's around to the head, it always tends to dip down just a little bit in this crown. We want to keep this crown a little bit fuller. So I'm going to do that same technique. I'm going to have that comb nice and flat, and then right where it rocks and stays on, that's where that round of the head is in the crown. So I'm going to connect that recession parting and drop it down to the crown. In the chat, if anybody wants to tell me exactly where they're from, like I said, I'm working out of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. So please let me know where everybody is from. Gonna work my way around. Want to turn around. Let's see, we got a couple comments going on. Forward a little bit. Got a rolling stool. So taking my grip, following the round of the head, just a little bit right at the top, and clip that out of the way. Same technique on the sides. Vertical, let it rock right where that teeter-totter motion begins. That's where that round of the head is. So combing everything out of the way. So let's talk about our tools. We have our big clipper, and then we have our trimmer. So the big clipper is what's going to be doing majority of the work, removing most of that bulk. And the trimmer is what we use for all the outlining. Now, if you're using skin fades, you're going to go into the hairline with this. But this is going to be do majority of the hair removal, and this will be doing that clean outline that we're going to get at the end. And with our clipper, we have the open and close lever. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit more later on about this open and close. But when we start putting the guards on, say if I put that foreguard on, if I want the longer version of the foreguard, I'm going to put that lever down and see those teeth move up. So that's going to be that longer version of the fore. And then if I want the shorter version, as I work my way down with the fade, I'm going to push that lever up, teeth get closer, and the hair gets closer and shorter. So Ben is a great canvas before and after. So what I'm going to do is start with it closed. I'm going to have my lever up. Remember, the teeth are going to be closer. I'm going to put my foreguard on. So I do work with the foreguard, 3-guard, 2-guard, and work my way down. Our clippers do come with bigger guards, but anything above a foreguard is usually with shears I like to work with. So I like to start with the 4. Everything else, I start switching to shears. So I'm going to put my teeth in first, look for that little snap, and turn on. So what I like to do is call this removing all the bulk and clearing the canvas. So I'm going to turn that on. Remember, it's closed. I'm really not going to be doing any open and close motion until I get to that 1.5, 1 guard, half guard, and no guard. So when I'm working with the 4 guard, the 3, and the 2, I'm going to keep this closed. So using my Velcro grips, just to show exactly where not to go, how to go high up. We always want to keep a little bit of a weight line here, and we need that weight line to connect to the top. So if you want to, your client wants to keep their hair a little bit longer on top, we need to make sure that weight line is there so it is connecting. Sometimes we go a little too high with these guards, and then you get that pineapple haircut, where I call it, where it's way too short. You cut that round off, and then you're stuck with all this long hair on top. So making sure that we keep that weight line, not too much of a weight line, because then it turns into a mushroom. So trying to find that perfect weight line, exactly where it's going to sit. And that is why it's really important to make sure that we part off where that round of the head is, because that kind of shows us exactly where we need to establish that weight line. So I'm going to have that lever closed. I'm going to work my way up. I do like to have my comb in place too, right where that round of the head is. So I'm going to have a lot of pressure at the bottom, and then I know I got to lift off once I get to that round of the head. So if you can see that first little section I have a little longer piece right there. There's my weight line. I want to keep that. Sometimes we see that and our OCD kicks in where we feel like we need to cut that off. But this is the point where we need to stop, and this is the point that's going to start blending into the top. Let me know if you have any questions. Jesse, feel free to interrupt me if you do see any in the chat. I do see the questions popping up, or the comments popping up.
Yeah, I mean the chats are lit as always, and yeah, we're keeping an eye out for anything that we can use, man. So just check back with us, and we'll have something.
All right. So like I said, I like to call this clearing the canvas. I'm going to have a lot of pressure where that hairline is vertical, and then I'm going to make sure I rock out or lift up just a little bit, right where that head starts rounding inward. So a lot of pressure at the bottom, working my way up, keeping that little ledge I like to call that weight line, keeping that so I know I can blend into the top and keep the top long. So working my way in the back, removing all that canvas. You can go a little faster at the bottom because we know that we just need to clear all this weight off. It's going to be much shorter. But as we get to the top, I see that little bit of length. This is where I'm going to lighten my touch and just keep flicking out. And right where I'm at this point, I can feel that head start rounding in. This is where I just really need to make sure I'm starting to lift off and remove that weight. Working my way around. So I started cutting hair when I was 14. I had a lot of bad haircuts when I was a teenager. I used to use my dad's old beard trimmer and cut my own hair or blend in whatever some salons would do. So I started cutting my own hair. I had a lady shave off half my eyebrow one time. So after all that, that's when I decided to cut my own hair. Started cutting my friend's hair. And now here I am. I actually thought I was going to become more of a barber, but I still do probably 70% women's hair. But I still do love working with the clippers and fading my men's hair clients. So a lot of pressure around the ear, a lot of pressure where that hairline is vertical, and then right where I know I'm going to be hitting that weight line, I've got to make sure that I'm going straight up or I'm going to be lifting off and flicking out. So this foreguard is going to sit right at that weight line. This is called down fading. Some barbers like to put that bald line in. I'm sure you've all seen that, where they put that bald line in with the no guard and then work their way up with guards. That's a great technique, but sometimes it's hard, especially when you're new at this, to blend that line out. So this is a nice way of working your way down, getting that fade, but not ever really putting any type of lines in there. So my foreguard is done. Going to turn this off. And now I'm going to switch to the 3-guard. Now when it comes to the weight band, all around that weight line, I have the 4-guard, the 3-guard, and the 2-guard is going to sit pretty close to that. Once I start getting to that 1-guard, half-guard, that's when you really want to start dropping those down a little bit just to make sure it's not that high and tight look. So I still have my clipper closed. I'm not going to be opening that up until I get to longer lengths or shorter lengths. A lot of pressure here at the bottom. And then I'm going to lighten up once I know I get to that round of the head. There we go. So I want to make sure we're nice and centered for all of you. So I can continue taking this 3-guard and cutting all this length off, but I know I'm going to be getting shorter and shorter with the shorter guard, so I'm just going to let that be. My main focus is on just removing that length in the band. I like to keep that at the end. Sometimes I like to keep it thicker just so I can focus on that band, and it's a lot more satisfying at the end. I'm sure we've seen that on social media where they leave all that bulk and then you remove it with the no guard. So I also like that satisfying look to it. So a lot of pressure at the bottom. Working my way up. You're gonna have a lot of clients that ask, they want a 2 on the sides. A lot of clients want a 2 on the sides, but I would never start with the 2. Sometimes we do that and we'll get into trouble. What the 4 and the 3-guard do is establish that weight line at the top, and then the rest of this is going to be a 2-guard. So don't ever start with the 2-guard and work your way all the way up, because what you're going to do is remove this weight line, and then you're not going to be able to blend it to the top. Once we get to that ear, sometimes that clipper, yeah.
Hey, bro, can I pop in with a couple questions?
Sure, please.
All right, awesome. So yeah, this was a good one. Would it be easier to clip up the hair you're keeping in the weight line?
Clip up this here, right here at the weight line right here is what they're asking.
I guess that's my guess. Yeah.
I like to keep it down just so I can visually see exactly where I need to stop. Because if you clip this up, if that's what they're asking, sometimes we're not going to see that weight line, and then we might cut a little too high.
Nice. Awesome.
It doesn't look like much, but having this ledge, I always say, is like your safety net right here. Our OCD kicks in, and we think we need to take that off, but we want to keep that because we're going to be taking that corner off once we get to that shears.
Nice. Here's another one for you. Can you talk about the grip that you have on the clipper? That's not a death grip that you hold it with, correct?
No, it's not. It is all in the wrist. So whenever you see barbers working, it's always kind of like this motion a little bit. We're not holding it like this. You're not like shaving down the bushes into the lawn, cutting down the hedges. What you want to do is a nice little flick, and just it's all in the wrist. So you're not using your whole arm. You're not going in there strong hand. It's all about that light touch. So if anybody's ever cut long hair with a razor, it's the same thing. You don't want to go in there with a hard stroke. You want to go in there with light strokes, and then you're going to kind of have a little more soft, predictable results. But yeah, that's a great question.
All right, one more for you. Here you go.
Please keep shooting them out. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself, Jesse.
Yeah, this one's for your model. You know, why is he so fine?
Ben, you want to answer that one?
Old age.
Ben here is aging like fine wine. We are the exact same age. We both got nice full heads of hair. But like I said, he went that silver fox route. Oh, that's awesome. And we're about to make Ben look even better. So now what I'm doing, I'm at that 2 guard. I'm going to be working my way down. And like I said, the 4, 3, and 2 sit right below that band area. Now I can go past where that 4 guard is, but you just better make sure that we're just grazing those ends with a very light touch, that we're not going into that weight line. So a lot of pressure at the bottom. And then as I work my way up, it's going to have a nice light touch. So working my way around, still have it closed. And now we're starting to really see that weight line forming. Now, when clients have their consultation, sometimes they will say they want to go short, but they don't want to see any scalp. Now that just depends on the density and the color of their hair. So if it's a light color, lighter density, you're going to be seeing scalp sometimes even closer with that 2 guard. Now with dark hair like mine, maybe a little bit more dense, sometimes you need to drop it down to that 1 guard. So not every guard is going to be the same when it comes to transparency and scalp showing. I got clients that come in and ask if they can get it cut as short as possible, just right before they see the scalp. So we're starting to see a little bit of scalp here, so maybe I would have ended with the 3 guard. But sometimes they say they want to see a little bit of scalp, and now this is the 2 guard. So there is techniques involved with the guards. When I first started at my school, they were actually against using guards also, but I kind of talked them into it because this is kind of where the trends are going. We're in that forever changing industry, so we kind of have to change with it. As I said earlier, it's really important to master the shear over comb and clipper over comb. I'm going to be doing both of those techniques, blending that weight line into the top. But when time is money at the salon, you want to be a little more quick, you want to be a little more efficient. So using the guards is the way to go. As I'm around that ear, I'm going to take my pointer finger. I'm going to use probably just like the last couple teeth of my clipper and work my way around the ear. This is going to be kind of up in the air. Now, if I had this whole clipper completely flat, I'm going to probably cut into that weight line. So this is a term called corner fading, where we use just the corner of the clipper, working our way up. Don't think you can't go past or up to that weight line. You just better have a really light, nice touch. As the person asked, how light am I going with the hold and the grip? It's just going to be a little looser. So I have a lot of pressure here. And then once I know I get to that weight line, it's just kind of grazing those ends, just lightly touching them. When it comes to clippers, it's always usually shorter length. Now you might not see the hair coming off, but you can hear it. So once you start hearing a little bit of that scraping, that's when you know this guard is still doing something. With my students, they get a little nervous with these guards using these. So when they get to this bottom area, they're like barely touching the hair. You do want to put a lot of pressure because we want to make sure that this guard is true to the length that we want to cut it at. So making sure that we're a lot of pressure here, working our way up. So I'm going to turn it off. Now working my way to the 1.5 guard. So let's talk about
it for you, man.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, they're just coming in so much. I hate to keep interrupting you, but I'm gonna make sure we get them. Okay, so here's one. Oh, we saw that one.
Is this another Ben question?
No, we're gonna leave that alone. So would having a neck strip hinder doing a fade?
You talking about those Sanic strips?
Yeah.
No. And according to state boards, you're in school. You know, we do use those at my school. The students need to have that. They need to not have that cape touching the neck. So no, the neck strip is fine. Now, at the end, you might have to remove it just to get a couple of those little neck hairs. Some guys have that hair that kind of blends into their back. So sometimes we do need to pull that shirt down, remove that neck strip, and get any hair that's exposing above that shirt. But no, the neck strip, it will be, you want it in place majority of the haircut. But right at the end, let's remove that and then just use our little trimmer and remove any loose hair.
Cool. All right, next question. I'm going to let you read this one.
Let's see. Do you always take the longest guard all the way from the bottom to the top? Since you're eventually taking off, it's shorter. Do you skip it sometimes in the salon life? Yeah, so that's actually what I was saying. So I am removing most of that length. I can stop and leave this alone, but yeah, so if I'm doing the 4, 3, and 2, and I know I'm going down to a skin fade, there is no point to really keep working my way with the 2, the 1.5, even the 3, the 4, because I know that's going to be going down to skin. So really just focusing on this like top band all the way around that weight line with the guards is important, and it is going to actually save you a lot of time. So I'm going to talk about the guards real quick. I'm down to my last ones. I did the 4, 3, and 2. You can see that weight line being established. And now what we have on these clippers now, which clippers didn't have this in the past, we have a 1.5 guard, we have a 1 guard, and just the half guard. So when I first started cutting hair, we just had the 4, 3, 2, and 1. But I think a lot of clippers and barbers, stylists started realizing that there is quite of a jump between the 1 guard and the no guard, or let's say the 2 guard to the 1 guard. So putting this 1.5 guard and this half guard is really going to be saving you when it comes to all the fading at your salon. So I'm going to be using the 1.5 guard now. I do like to turn these clippers off every time I switch it out. I'm trying to get into this habit because I got into a bad habit of having these on and putting the guard on when it's on. And what happens is as all these teeth start getting all chewed up, and then it gets a little looser, and then you might fall off when you're cutting your client. So making sure that we are turning our clipper off every time, putting those teeth in first, listen for that snap, and then you know you're good to go. So as I work my way now to the 1.5 guard, now I'm going to start opening it up, which means that this is closed with the teeth shorter and closer together. And now I'm going to open it up. You can see those teeth raised. So now this is going to be the longer guard. I am going to go right up to that band that we've been working on. But as I work my way to the shorter guards, the 1 guard, the half guard, work my way down, this is when I'm going to start spreading them out. It's called a blurry fade is what some barbers like calling it, where it's like really faded down and there's no weight line. What we tend to do sometimes is taking that half guard and 1 guard and going a little too high up. And then you get that fade, but you can kind of still see that band going on. And then you start getting into that high and tight type of territory. So we're going to try to avoid that today. So I got my 1.5 and I'm going to open it up. Oh, I just saw a question pop up and then disappeared. Do you work with blades at all or all guards? So I do not work with the blades. We just had a guest speaker come into my school and all they did was use blades. Now the blades, I think look a little more professional instead of having the plastic guard, but the blades also, they're like different sizes. So you have a bigger blade, you have smaller blades. So it kind of is almost the same concept as guards, but it's just a little different and takes a little bit getting used to. But I do not use blades, but I do know a lot of barbers that like using blades. And yeah, it's almost the same type of thing, but you just have to get used to working with the blades and what the numbers mean. And when you are working with these guards, some clients like to say, I like to take a 1/4 inch off the sides. So sometimes they do have the number of like a 2 or a 1. And then right at the side, one of the sides, it's going to have like 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. So when you're talking like more like measurement language, look at your guards and they usually will answer that for you. So starting with my 1.5 open, holding that grip in the way. So I have a lot of pressure at the bottom, and I'm lightening up as I work my way up. Now I really can't see too much hair coming off, but I can hear it. So making sure that we are using all of our senses, hearing that hair. Once you hear that little scraping sound, that's when you know the hair is still coming off. So now what I'm going to do is what that person asked, instead of cutting all the way at the bottom, I'm just going to let that be, and I'm going to just focus on this higher band and let this hair longer, and I'm going to take all this length off at the end. So I'm going to turn bend. We're going to cut the back. So really just focusing on that upper band. Now I'm going to close it. I'm just going to do one side at a time. So you can see I didn't, or even here, I didn't have any more hair to cut, but just by closing that lever and just having that shorter version of the 1.5, you can start hearing a little bit more hair coming off. Rolling my way around. Start with it open first, longer version. Did my back section, and now I'm going to close it. Start with it open, and now I'm going to close it. So I'm going to be working my way a little faster now, just because I want to get to the top and make sure that we get that final look. So now I'm at the 1 guard, turn it off, put those teeth in first, snap it, open it up first, longer version of it. This is when I want to start dropping this down. I'm not going to go to that weight line. I'm going to go just a little lower. Now I'm going to close it. Using the corner fading, using just the corners of my clipper. Keep turning.
Hey, Adrian, can you talk and work, man?
Yes.
I'm gonna bring up some questions. Like I said, the chats are like physically exploding, so I want to just bring these up and have you talk them out. Any tricks to shaving around ear piercings?
Be very careful.
I would say the same.
Even cutting women's hair, you know, I'm all about getting that nice pressure and clean lines. And sometimes I do like hooking all those piercings, so I am guilty of that all the time.
Well, how about this? Do you think the loose hair on the neck bothers the client? Ben, do you want to weigh in? Would you recommend wiping it off when the hair falls?
Sometimes it does. With the cape, and if it's tight, I don't really notice it. But when it's long, it depends, I guess. And if it's hot or in the summertime, probably more bothersome then.
Yeah, probably a case by case basis.
And that is a great question, because usually I will have the comb in my hand, but what barbers do, which I also have, thank you for bringing that up, I have my fade brush with me. So that goes to my next point. So thank you so much for even asking that. So this has the soft bristles. So a lot of barbers like to wipe that hair off as they go, obviously for comfort, but also sometimes you think that you have a weight line, but really it's a bunch of loose hair just kind of just sticking to the head. So just always wiping off that hair, making sure that you didn't miss any hair and that the hair is just loose, so you don't get confused with that.
I feel like you kind of took out this question. They were asking, what point do you switch from comb to fade brush? But I think you just told us that. So
Yep.
Next one here. This one's good. What does opening and closing do?
So it's going to be a slightly longer and a slightly version shorter of the guard that you're using.
Perfect.
So once we start getting into the fading or the actual no guard fading, because I am at my half guard now closed, I'm going to remove all that length. And now what we're doing is getting into the no guard. So as I get into my no guard, I do want to have it open so you can see with that lever being pushed down. See those teeth get opened up and get a little bit longer. So this is going to be the longer version. So this is going to be the higher point. And then I'm going to have it closed and drop it down a little bit lower with the shorter version. So I have my clipper now open. A lot of pressure at the bottom because I want to get that short. But as I work my way up, I'm going to flick that out and making sure I'm not disturbing. So what we tend to do is start going all the way up, and then remove this little bit of fade right here that we worked our way with the 1.5 and the half guard. So making sure that we're keeping that up and spreading these guards out. I always say you always want to let this one guard and the half guard breathe a little bit, because if we go too high up, you're going to be getting into that high and tight territory, and then you're going to be getting in trouble. So I have it open, and now I'm going to close it, and I'm going to go just a little bit lower. This is when that corner fading really comes into play. I'm going to use just the little corner of my clipper and work my way around the head. Now, if my clipper was completely flat, I would be removing all that fade that I got going on. So it's using just the corner as you work your way down. So this is where I started. So now I'm going to open it up, take my fade brush, good question, remove all that hair, making sure I didn't miss anything. Have it open, longer version.
Hey, do you brush the clippers off in the middle of the service, or do you wait until the very end?
You can brush them off in the middle of service. It might slow you down. Now, you definitely don't want to brush it off when the clipper is on, because you're just going to be cutting all the bristles off your brush. So make sure you don't do that. But yeah, you can go in there. I see people like wiping their shears down in the middle of the haircut. I just wait till the end usually. And with clippers too, you always want to cut the hair dry. You don't want to do it wet. You really can't see any weight forming or see really too much weight, how it's going to be naturally when it's dry, when it is wet. So making sure that, we do have a nice dry, clean canvas, and that all the hair is a natural fall. All right, so that was my no guard open. I'm going to be moving on to the trimmer. So if he had longer hair, you're going to be putting that weight line or the hairline outline in with the teeth down, and then you're going to be going upward with the teeth and removing up any hair. But because we did do more of a fade, a shorter fade, I'm just going to have this teeth up and just work my way around, just using just the corner of the trimmer. This is a very important part too when it comes to fading, making sure that we are cutting this corner right here, getting that a little bit cleaner. Another barbering term is called lining up or squaring up in the front. So that just means kind of putting that nice corner right here at the front hairline. That's going to make a little cleaner look.
I would say that's probably missed the most from other people that have cut it.
Yeah, so Ben has had that happen when he goes to other places, is that this corner right here is kept a little bit longer. So making sure that we are cleaning that up and removing that, because you don't want that part bulky. See a little bit of weight. I'm going to go in with my no guard open, close it again, and now that's done. So now what we're going to be doing is removing the length off the top and blending it into the sides. I like to call that section that I just clipped up before halo section, which is kind of the crown and top section. Remember, following the round of the head, taking your comb, rocking that out. Right where that comb stays on the head is where that round and the vertical transition begins. So I'm going to be using our streamline shears. I'm going to roll it just a little bit, just get nice and center. There you go. Keep going. Put your feet down. There you go. We got a rolling stool going on. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to look for that shortest piece right there. If anybody can see it, it's really right in between my fingers. And I'm removing any length that's over my fingers. So as I was talking about the guards in the earlier, is that the foreguard I always say is a little shorter than finger length. Now, our fingers are all different lengths. Mine are a little on the thicker side, but that foreguard should be just popping right above my finger. And now I'm using my shears. I'm going to switch to my shears after that foreguard and removing any length. When it comes to the colic, you want that colic to do its own thing. Let me just step this back just a little bit, just so we can see a little bit more. Change that camera angle. There we go. So you can see his hair is going in like a little swirl. We don't want to comb this all down into an unnatural position. I kind of let that colic do its thing. And as I'm working my way, connecting that crown to the sides, I'm going to work with that colic almost in a clockwise motion. And working my way with that swirl. You never want to go against it because it's not going to be laying like that when they do it at home. Continue on with the sides. You can see my body position. Sometimes back in the day, I used to stand behind them and then turn my back all awkward. What I like to do is keep that same position and work my way all the way around the head. So for all these righties, you're going to be on the right side of your client's hip. Keeping that body position the same, so you have a little more predictable results.
Okay, great question here. What part of fading did you struggle with the most when you first started, and how did you fix it?
I think what I struggled with was bringing up those shorter guards a little too high. So the 4, 3, and 2 guards sit at that band, what we were talking about. And then when it came to the 1 guard, I would go super high up, and then you would see that line. So making sure the 4, 3, and 2 are high, and then once you get to that half, you're going to drop it down like a 3/4 of an inch. The 1 guard, you're going to drop it down. The half guard, you're going to drop it down. So letting those last couple guards breathe, I always say, letting them have a little bit more space and not so sitting up by that hairline. Another thing too is actually right where I'm at. We all know it's you can get that nice fade, and then all of a sudden when it comes to blending the top, that can be a struggle. So dropping down this last section, this halo section, this 1-inch section all the way around the head is key. Keeping those fingers nice and close and tight to the head. And this is when I'm going to be getting into some more shear over comb and removing any of that bulk. So we can kind of see a little bit of that bulk. This is when those techniques, those traditional techniques, come into play. So I do like to remove most of it with my fingers. And now I'm going to go in with the shear over comb and remove any unwanted hair.
Hey, here's a good time to ask this question. In which circumstances would you use blending shears as opposed to straight shears?
So I do like our blenders. That's what our Invisablends are for. I like to remove majority of the length, like what I'm doing right now. At the end, when the hair is all dried and styled, that's when I go in with the blenders. I do see some stylists, I mean, everyone has their own technique, but I do see stylists using those blenders when the hair is wet. We can't see any weight until the hair is completely dry. So when I'm about to be done, that's when I pull out my blenders and remove any thick spots. Some people have thicker spots, some people have finer spots. So bringing these blenders in right at the end. So what I'm doing right now is a shear over comb with the regular shears, our streamlines. And then I'm going to go in with the Invisablends or blenders and break up any more weight. But you do want to take majority of the length off with regular shears, and then you want to go in with those blenders at the end. You don't want to rely on those too much for taking out weight. That's just kind of more like a finishing touch, more detailed type of work. I want to roll forward a little bit. There you go. Now that we're working at the top of the head, we got to get a little bit of higher position. So I did blend that weight in from the fade, and now we're going to be working my way up to the higher point of the crown, still following that cowlick. You can see my angle of my fingers are going to be turning just a little bit. They're not going to be completely vertical. Ben likes his hair nice and short. I never saw him with his hair that long when he came in, so that was a first for me too. Usually his hair is very short, so I haven't seen Ben since, I don't know, summertime.
That was the longest since I was 18 years old.
I was very happy when I heard that Ben was free, and then he showed me a picture of his hair, and then I was even more excited. Great before and after for everybody. So I used my finger and shears to remove majority of that length, and now I'm going in and doing a little bit of shear over comb. I want to get most of this length off, but then when it's dry, that's when I'm going with my blenders and removing what I need to. Can you read that question off for me, Jesse?
Yeah, man. How do you know where to position that comb when using straight shears to blend? Like how close to the scalp, and is it at an angle or straight?
So my comb is always on an angle, so I always want to angle those teeth out just a little bit, so I'm making sure I'm not cutting into that weight line. Even if we're doing a clipper over comb motion, I always say right before you take that clipper across, I always want to angle this comb out just a little bit so those teeth are poking out, so we're not getting shorter. We tend to like dig in just a little bit, see how those teeth are in. If you go straight across, then we're going to be cut into that weight line. So when I'm doing shear over comb, I start at the spine of the shear, look for that hair to poke out, and then I'm just going to work my way up. But my comb is always slightly angled outward. We always have weight. We always tend to start going a little too high up with our weight. Start going a little bit lower and then work your way up until you start seeing that weight expose itself at the spine of the comb. And then that's when you attack it.
I think that leads us naturally to this question. What do you do when or if you mess up?
You know, that's when
You get a buzz cut.
That's when you say, hey, I was thinking you might look a little bit better with shorter lengths. So you tend to mess up more with the clipper over comb, and it's a very important skill to learn. But when you're using guards, it's going to be a little bit safer. I think students get a little scared using those, but if you got that guard on nice and tight, you snapped it in, you're not going to mess up too much, but it is going to happen, you know? I mean, and it's scary. When I'm teaching long hair to my clients or to my students, you know, I always joke, you can always take that last section, the new section at the top, and kind of blend it in. But obviously we do not have that for men's haircuts. We don't have that. We can't do that with the men's hair cutting. So it is going to happen. Mistakes are going to be made, just as long as you learn from them. So right now I'm at the highest point of the head. The head starts rounding down at this point. I want to take this nice and short. I like to keep this a little bit longer. So what I'm going to be going in with vertical strips, let me angle that up just a little bit so we can all see. Going in with vertical strips, I'm going to switch to a little bit of point cutting technique, just so I can get a little bit of texture in there. And I'm going to go straight across. And by going straight across, the top of the head right here is going to be short. And then the front's going to be a little bit longer, so we have a little bit more length to work with. So I'm doing that vertical mohawk section, nice and square. We call this 180 at my school. I'm not sure what everybody else calls it at their school. We all got our different languages going on. But this is going to be my guide for the top. I'm going to work my way forward so you guys all get a nice good look at Ben. Look for that shortest point with the mohawk I just cut, and I'm going to be working my way back, combing back, looking for that corner. I am going to be cutting the top of this hair square. Now, once we cut this top of the side, we are not done with the side. There is always a little band right here that we need to blend in. So now I'm going to go in with my fingers on a slight angle and connecting to that square top section that I just cut. And then I'm going to work my way back. Now let's start on the other side. Look for that original mohawk strip. Doing that point cutting technique, putting texture in there. Ben's hair is on a little bit of the straighter side, so if I would go in with blunt lines, sometimes you're going to see those blunt lines. So going in with point cutting, it's going to break that up, and it's going to blend in just a little bit more for him. What's the question on the screen, Jess?
Oh, this was more, you know, accolades for Ben. I mean, the guy has become the star of the program today.
Thanks. I need the confidence before I go to the dentist next.
As I said before, Ben's got that nice silver fox look to him.
I heard it all day on Monday at the Ferguson.
He used to give me, you know, he used to make comments because I always cut his hair. He'd be like, "Yeah, it's going gray." I'm like, "Hey, man, gray hair is better than no hair." So, yeah, he looks good. I think we're like I said, a couple months difference, but I still got the darker hair, but it doesn't matter. He's got a full head. It's all that matters. So I'm going in. I cut everything 180 square at the top, and now I'm going to go in and blend the sides in. How do you usually style your hair, Ben? Do you put some pomade in there?
Yeah, usually that's when it's actually at the right length here. That's my go-to. Now I got to fight or hide it for my 11-year-old is real big into that product right now. Every day.
Yeah, those boys start liking what they look like after 11, 12.
Yeah, middle school.
So we just got a couple more minutes left. Get you a little more centered. I am going to be blow drying this. Some guys do not want to blow dry their hair, but I always say it's going to be helping with the styling part. And one of our booth crew members, he calls it when you blow dry a man's hair, it's a bro dry. So that one was from Trey Jesse. So now that it's dry, now I can see a little bit of weight going on. You can see that right in the front. And I'm gonna go in with my shear over comb with my regular streamline shears, work my way up. Removing any of that weight. And now that all that length is gone, now this is when those texturizing shears come in. So this is the Visiblend. These are our giveaways. And now I'm going to go in and remove any of those ends, breaking that up. Even with the hair at the top, I'm going to go in with my wide teeth part of my comb and work my way back. And what that's going to do is break up any lines that we have at the top. So right at the end, this is when I go in with my texturizers. You do not want to rely on these when it comes to the shear over comb. You want to really focus and practice that, get really good at that. And then at the end, when you still need to remove a little bit of weight and the regular shears aren't cutting it, no pun intended, you're going to be breaking it up with your Invisiblen's. So working my way back. So whenever I'm doing this, I like to work in the direction the hair is growing. So the hair is growing forward with him. So what do I got to do? I got to go against the grain and remove that with the comb going backwards. Got a couple more minutes left. So the hair is growing forward. So I'm going to take the wide teeth part of my comb, go in and just lightly cut those ends. Hope you all learned something today. Hope this took a little bit of the fear out of the guards and using the clippers.
Man, I really think we did. Just having Ben here, thanks for being our model today, bro. It makes a huge difference, and the learners were wanting to see some live work and clipper cutting, so it's hard to do.
All right, the last final touch. Here comes that pomade. So I like to use the clay. It's more like a dry clay separation. I did a lot of texturizing, a lot of loose hair. I try to blow dry this all out of the way just so it's not gonna get all stuck in his hair. So making sure that your hands are clean, no hair on your hands and any loose hair at the top. I'm going to be using just a small little bit. A lot of my students are like, how do you style men's hair cutting? Don't overthink it, it's nice and easy. So just a little bit, I'm gonna put that in the palm of my hand. We're gonna rub it in real good until we cannot see it. And then I'm going to just work my way, kind of massaging it in. Giving Ben here a massage. I'm going to be using that flat palm part of my hand and working that way into the front because that's usually where we want a good amount of product. And now Ben is going to be accepted at Thanksgiving dinner now. He's going to be looking a little bit better.
That's for sure. A lot better.
And there you go. How's it look, Ben?
Perfect. A lot better.
So with that one last question though, when they were asking about that neck strip, so this is when at the end, I'm going to be taking the cape off, take our brush, remove any of that hair. And Ben's pretty good. He's still got all of his hair at the top. It's not going south, so he doesn't really have too much neck hair. But this is when you would go in and with the teeth up of your trimmer and just removing any hair that you do not want. All right. There you guys go. Ben looks like a new man.
Yeah.